This is your final Best of the Midwest Awards as Executive Director of the Midwest Film Festival. What was behind your decision to transition from the position, and what is the stay of the festival as you depart?
Yeah. Wow. I think this is the first press interview that I've done that I've heard that said out loud. So, first, thank you for acknowledging that and asking that really great question. It is my last Best in the Midwest Awards. I have been with Midwest Film Festival for 5 years now, which I can't even believe it's
Wow.
been that long. I've really been committed. I thought it was going to be a 1 or 2 year endeavor, and it's obviously been much longer. And, as I was saying, I really was committed to making sure that the festival had the foundation and the transitional support to be able to sustain without me there. When I came in, there was a lot of foundational work to be done. And, it just took longer than I anticipated. And I think, my experience, not only in the community and in the industry, but also as a business owner, really was allowed me to have the experience needed to get it to where it's at now. And yeah, everything it's ready to go. I wouldn't be stepping down from the role if it wasn't ready. And that is why I have been and stayed there for as long as I have. And I'm so excited about the future of it. I think with any new executive director of any organization, there is going to be change and there's going to be improvements and there's going to be growth. And I'm really excited to see that and be able to participate as a community and audience member and experience that from a front row seat instead of being up on the stage.
Very good. The Best of the Midwest Awards kick off the local awards season. What can we expect differently from the awards this year, both in the nominees and the ceremony itself?
Yeah, we're so excited for this year's awards between my co-host and I, NK Gutierrez, who is our operations director. She and I had the pleasure of co-planning it this year, which I've never co-planned it with anyone besides our other support staff. So she
Right.
and I, we always get creative and sometimes maybe too creative for our own good because we definitely want it to elevate and be at a certain level. And we're so excited for all the things that we're offering this year. We also expanded our categories. So this year we updated a few categories, which we always do slightly different categories. We, of course, have our classics like Best Director, Best Cinematography, Best Editing, etc. But some of our new categories this year is we did Best Sound Design. We also did Best Score. And another exciting one that we're very excited to announce, we're also doing Best Casting this year.
Right. Yeah. Excellent job. What personally are you most proud of in your tenure as executive director as to where the festival was when you took over and where it is today?
It might sound, I try to answer authentically whenever, kind of the first thing comes to me. So I will go ahead with this answer. And it might seem basic, but I'm just proud that this thing still exists. I think that when I joined, it really was at a transitional time that it could have gone either way.
Right.
And we relaunched and did our rebrand at the very tail end of 2019 and beginning of 2020. And a lot of organizations didn't survive through the pandemic. And
Yep.
then shortly after that, in 2023, we hit the industry strikes that also affected so many organizations. So I'm really just proud that we've fared all of that. And I really want to give credit back to the community because all of our support comes from the community. It comes from sponsors and organizations who sponsor us and give us organizational support. And then, people coming out and buying tickets and sharing posts and, buying memberships and really being active in it. And so I think it's just a true testament to there was a need for it here. There was a community that still wanted it and wanted to contribute to it. And in these 5 years, boy, have people shown up and shown how much they really are invested in it. So I'm just like truly proud that like we're still here, we're doing so well, and we're doing and thriving so well that I feel comfortable and confident that it's sustainable beyond, what it relies on me now.
We're proud of you too. So,
Thank you.
while most of us were hunkering down during the pandemic period, you had to figure out a way to keep the festival viable. What was the greatest challenge during that period, and what lessons did it have for you personally?
Yeah, during that period, I think just for so many people, it was the unknown, yet the innate need to continue to create. So, I think as artists, which, everyone who works as a festival, including myself, and participates in it, it's a community of artists at the heart of it. So it was just constantly trying to evolve and adapt, but we would plan something and it would always be like, maybe, we'll
Hmm.
try
Hmm.
whatever that looked like. And, we did offer virtual screenings, which were a little bit more assured, but it was a whole new learning curve of who wants to watch a movie in their living room when we used to watch it in a movie theater
Right.
together, and a little bit of the psyche of the audience member and the filmmaker. And part of the festival experience is so much rooted in the networking and the community aspect of it, getting in a room together and talking about a film and experiencing it together. So, I was always super protective of the filmmakers and the experience of watching it at home versus together in a theater and how that would affect them.
Hmm.
So that was constantly, something that I was thinking about. And then I think for us, as the timeline as it laid out for us, is we were just so fresh off of relaunching. And I'd never been an executive director before, so I had
Yeah.
no history or experience to lean back on that. Maybe this experience was similar, and there was nothing like the pandemic, but maybe things where there was either financial struggles or periods of audience disengagement for me to be able to have my experience to lean back on. So for me personally, it was a lot of experimentation. I always say fail fast. And that's really what we try to do, is just stay nimble and just kind of keep going.
Awesome. Even if, excuse me, even as you have a business associated with filmmaking, what have you learned about the passion of filmmaking through the Midwest Film Festival?
It's been a totally different experience working for Midwest Film Festival than it has been for me running and owning Camera Ambassador. The camera ambassador side of it is usually in pre-production, where the filmmaker, the artist, the producer, the director, the cinematographer, everybody is in go stress mode. We're about to hit that when I interact with them.
Yeah.
And the festival side of it is a whole different end of it. And
Right.
it's been really rewarding for me, actually, because it's the celebratory part of filmmaking where you've actually gotten it done. It's good. It Other people want to watch it. Screeners have rated it highly. And it's that moment that the filmmaker gets to come and really get the recognition that they deserve. So I think, for me, the personal growth in it has been, one, just reminding myself and the process of, it's not just about making it, but it's also about taking the time once you've done that insane, crazy marathon, celebrating your work and taking the time out, and how important that celebratory process is.
Really beautiful. One of the primary transitions I've observed in being part of the fest since 2007 was a younger and more diverse participation. How were you able to encourage that transition and expansion in your role as executive director?
It was really done for me out of authenticity and organic growth. So, when you play films of a younger generation, they bring their films. And when you play films from underrepresented filmmakers, they bring out their underrepresented friends. So it was
Yeah.
never I think that it's really important for organizations to take time and pause to look at DEIA initiatives and how they are contributing to that landscape. But really, to me, it's more about how you're showing up in authenticity and representing the people that you're intending to serve, and giving the voice to the people that you're serving. So, it wasn't always about, my ideas or our staff ideas. We, every single year, have an annual planning symposium where we invite 20 to 30 stakeholders from the community to come in, of people of all different kinds of backgrounds. And that really has been, I think, the guiding source as to how we've been able to expand, because we're giving that decision making power back to the people who we're actually trying to serve.
Finally, what do you want for the future of the Midwest Film Festival, and what is the best piece of advice you can give for the next executive director?
Buckle up, baby. I just hope it continues to expand. I think about where we were 5 years ago to where we are now on every single level of representation, financial stability, board support and contribution and unity, staff support. I hope that all of those things from where we were 5 years ago to now, in 5 years, we're even tenfold from where we are now. So just a continued expansion of the work that, I've so passionately put my heart and soul into. And yeah, the best advice is, I would say, to not be afraid. You're never going to please everybody. That's just the truth in life. You're going to do
Yeah.
things some people disagree with, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do them. rely on your community and build the relationships of the people that are the ones that you're serving.
This is Patrick McDonald for HollywoodChicago.com. Copyright 2024.